It is such a beautiful, beautiful morning. We had storms all day yesterday. In fact, I did not go live yesterday evening because I go live with my phone charged into the charger because YouTube drinks all the juice, so I keep it charged. And while you can use the phone during a mobile phone during a thunderstorm, it's not wise to use it while it's plugged into the charger. So I did not do a Sunday evening live. So I thought I would come on with a video. I am sitting down on the squeaky porch swing next to my unnamed scarecrow that still needs her suspenders. I'm going to get that done this week. We're expecting more rain later this week, but everything is so pretty out, and I'm enjoying some stitch time. Now, I finished my magic carpet ride. This is my knee. I tried to keep this close up with the basket, kind of hiding my knees here. But let me tell you, if you can at all look at your journal outside, please do, because the colors are so bright and vivid. And I will say I am holding the phone in my hand, so it will be a little bit shaky. So I thought I would do a flip through until I get to last week's page, which is was the magic carpet ride to a desert island of your choice. My choice was, well, this is not quite a desert island, but it's a front porch and it is so quiet out here. It's like being on a desert island. It's in a small, quiet town in the middle of Nebraska, out in Podunk. So look at the shadow. Oh, I just love the shadow of the plants. I've got a fern, 2 petunias, and another fern hanging. And then I got petunias hanging out on the shepherd's hook. But this is all about the stitching. I thought I would do a flip through from starting in week 1 in January. I started right out with her. I'm not going to talk too much about the pages until I get to last week's. So I'm just going to flip as much as I can with my left hand and show you what fun I've been having this year with K3N Clothtales. I will put a link to her channel in the description box below. I am in the process of listening to her video that was published this morning. She publishes one every Monday morning, and she's just back from her trip to England. She lives in France. But I'll put a link to her channel in the description box below. So this page still needs to be worked on. This is the English paper piecing. I had it down, but I didn't like how I had it. So, and this is just a bookmark that I stitched on a strip of fabric. And yeah, so I don't want to talk too much about these. I just want to flip. You can see the beauty as we do each page. And I'm not a quilter. I'm not even a good slow stitcher. My hand, as I'm aging, my hand is starting, my left hand especially, is starting to shake. I'm having a real problem with that this morning. It might be, too, that I drink too much coffee. I'm going to cut down on my coffee. I am hooked on cappuccinos. I'm hooked on cappuccinos. I need to seriously cut down on them and drink more water. I'm trying to be good and drink water. I have water out here on the front porch with me. So, just so fun. Every week is a new adventure in slow stitching with K3N Clothtales. She's very knowledgeable. This week is all about Japanese boral mending. And she does an excellent job. I just love. I already left a comment 20 minutes into watching the video. I had to stop and witter. Witter is useless chatter. I had to stop and write a comment because she just shares so much information. It's just fascinating. This page, if you love something, set it free. And the friendship page. I have so much I want to do in this journal. I'm not binding it yet. I'm not going to bind it until December, until the last, probably January of next year. This was a page that I did inspired by her. Now, she talked, and my hand's starting to shake here. She talked about the word inspired by, and she was talking, you'll have to listen to this. I'll also put a link to this week's video because she talks about a person, I am guessing that he's Japanese, and he talks all about Japanese boral stitching, and which is what she's doing, and it's as a mending technique. And he made a comment about getting inspired by, people say they're inspired by something and then they'll go off and do their own thing. Well, I had commented on her group probably in one of the videos that when I do her pages, I try to follow as closely as possible. If you look at this one, I don't go off and do my own thing. And she had commented in this week's video when she was telling about this Japanese fellow, talking about inspired by, she had commented that her interpretation of inspired by was learning something from it. And I commented, and I'm saying that's why I'm here. That's why I try to do as close as possible what she does. I do add my own things, like here's a piece of tatting that I added, and I needed space. Her book is more square than mine, so when she does a square piece, I need to fill out the rest of my page. But just fascinating. And what I got off on that topic about inspired by, this was an inspired by piece. This was an extra piece that I put in here. It was inspired by her. But I had done a piece and I used it as giveaway, and I wanted to do something very, very similar. So that's what I did here. So this is not really, this is inspired by K3N Cloth Tales, but it's not really a page that she did. It was inspired by her. And let's see. Oh, and she also said inspired by, she mentioned her other thought on that was, when she's inspired by, not only is it learning about the technique, like this week's is Japanese boral, it's also learning about the culture and the people and what influences their stitch. Like Japanese boral is very much a mending technique to avoid having to purchase another jacket or whatever. She tells it much better than I do. But she says that she tries to learn as much as possible about the technique and the people that are doing it when she's getting inspired by. I'm getting close to the end here. I have to pull this out. There's this one, and then I left this page blank here because this is where the backstory is going to go. I'm still working on the backstory page. This is the pocket page. And we get one more page here. Oh, I pinned this in, but it didn't stay in. This was the kintsugi. You haven't seen this one yet. This is my kintsugi page. And I just finished it off. I just had a few stitches up in here and over here to do. And I finished it. I did most of the stitching last night. Like I said, I just had these few and a few up here to finish off. But this is my, and what I really wanted to show you and talk about is my Desert Isle Magic Carpet Ride page. I wanted to do a page, and I have another video where I showed you what I packed in my bag and talked about what I wanted to do. And I wanted to do a portrait style page of Penelope, my pincushion doll, studio mascot. And here she is. I did it in mostly blacks and whites, and just with some touches of red hearts here. She does have a heart-shaped lip, and she's got a little heart-shaped birthmark on her cheek. But otherwise, it's done in running stitches and French knots in here. Is it going to focus here? I don't know if you can see the French knots very well. If I move in, it doesn't focus. So I'm very, very happy with this page. I enjoy doing it, and I stitched most of it out on the front porch. It rained all day yesterday, so I couldn't get out here. But I put my last stitch in it last night, and oh, I see I'm going to have to reach down and get them. My log cabin quilts, blocks were in the back here, and they blew out. The other thing that I did in this journal that I'm going to show you is I wanted some black journal pages and some green ones. I'm going to do the green ones next. This is dollar store fabric that I had purchased a long time ago. And, you know, all the wrinkles here eventually work themselves out enough to use. I don't bother pressing it or anything. And this was some placemats. These were black placemats, and this was the lining on them. So I got more goodies with my black fabric. And then I've got the pink pages. And what I want to show you, if I can, with my left hand here. Oh, and then I've got some white ones that I had started off. We're going to do them all in this, but then I got off into the colors. These last few pages need to be trimmed down a little. But what I want to show you, if I can get a hold of it here, is look at this. Look at that, the spine. I'm going to put this in a wraparound cover that I'm working on. But I want to keep the spine showing with all the different colors of the signatures. And we're not even half a year yet into our pages, and I need 2 pins to close my book. This wraparound is very large, and and this book is going to be 12 inches wide. But I'm going to finish it. I might have to do 2 volumes. We'll see at the end of December. Let me get back to Penelope here. And I'm going to try to hold on to this and reach down. Oh, you'll see the French knots and the kintsugi stitching. She made tiny stitches here. I made them different lengths. Let me reach down and get my log cabin quilts. These aren't all of them. I got one in my pouch that I am using as a pattern for the Greek key. I want to work on the Greek key, and she did another one after the Greek. I'm way behind on the log cabins. I really do like this. I was not happy with it when I did it, but boy, I'll tell you, you look at it outdoors here, and man, it's really bright. I got my camera turned down. I'm hoping you guys, my light on my camera screen is turned down. I'm hoping that my camera is showing the colors more brilliantly than I'm seeing them. And there's the cloth weaving one. And then I've got a couple that I'm working on yet that aren't in here. I keep these in here to keep them all together. I need to do a cover on this. And I might, well, I'm not sure how I'm going to do the cover for the log cabin. I'm still thinking about it. But I wanted to show all that to you now. I also want to show you, in preparation for doing this week's, I got out all my Japanese boral. This one this is the first piece I started with her. And I've got it, it's huge, you guys. It's huge. And I am working on it, putting in the stitches. It is huge. And I thought I would just work on this, but this one has a lining. This one has well, that's doubled. Well, no. Yeah, see, this one has a lining. It's huge. It's about 22 by 36 inches wide. And I had fun doing this. This was the first piece that I did with K3N. Let's see, let's get to more of the stitching. This part is in the center, but I've got some, where am I doing that at? Ooh, look at this. Look at this piece. Isn't that cool? It's got just a little bit of a lavender color. And then I've got some of my tape measure. And the florals here will go on the corner of the journal when I put the journal together. Where is my stitching? Oh, where I did my stitching. I'm looking, I guess right in here. There's some more here that I've done off in the corner someplace. Over here on this corner, I've done more stitching. So I'm having fun with that. However, there's more I want to show you if I can find it. I guess I put it underneath of this. This is what K3N also has me getting things into bundles. She's showing all her bundles. And I am starting to bundle according to color, like what she does. But I bundled this one this morning because this is going to be the mending piece, not the outside. But this is all, let me unbundle. And you know, if you buy and deconstruct table napkins or t-shirts or anything, cut the hem off. They make wonderful ties. They make wonderful ties for your bundles. And this one happens to be off of I think this is off of one of those placemats, so it's quite large, the tie. And so here are my blue bundles. I'm really loving this piece. I'm going to use that for mending. And this lace piece, I have bundled this before. I thought about Japanese burl, but there's a lot of blues in there. And blues in here, blues and greens in there. And then I just pulled this one out of my work basket this morning. And some more blues in here. And some denims, all blue. So I have plenty of, well, some of this isn't blue. But see, I bundle it. I think this was a page. I think this was I cut this as a pattern, I think. I'm not sure why I cut that. I have a tie bundle here. I cut off of a man's tie. So, and then there's some more denim. So I'm going to start on this week's page out here on the front page today. That's why I'm showing it all to you. I have plenty to work with in here. I'm going to have fun. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. This is my in and out basket. And under there is a box where I keep my journal pages and my burl stitching and some of the earlier projects. And then there's an Amazon box. Oh, I'll have to show you. I got a journal. I'm not going to show it in this video because this video is all about stitch, but I'm going to show you that journal. I'm going to start my memoirs. It's a wonderful journal. So, but anyway, I just wanted to show you all of this, and as I progress, I am planning on going live tomorrow, Tuesday morning, May 21st. I go live at 6 a.m. Central Time. I've really caught up on my sleep. I'm feeling rested. I need to get out and do some yard work. I want to, over in the corner where the walnut tree is, right there on the corner of the road there, I want to pull up some of the volunteer weeds and plant some volunteer vine out there. And somebody had told me that's some sort of a weed, but the vine she is right, it grows fast and it takes over things. But that's what I want to happen there. I don't call it a weed. If it's a weed, it's a beautiful weed. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow morning. If you're awake at 6 a.m. Central, pop in and say hello. Bye for now.